again, as always, appreciate you guys and your interest in the program. At the midway point of our season, game 6 here, and a lot of reason for frustration for us the last couple of weeks of not being able to finish and get it done. But I also will say that it's also a lot of optimism in our program because of how we've played, this first half of the season. And so the frustration stems from knowing the kind of team that we have and the type of work that these guys have put in, and the buy-in that we've gotten from each and every one of the players, our staff, and then the optimism, obviously, because I know this team is different than any team that I've had a chance to coach here during my tenure as the head coach. We play very clean in games. We don't turn the ball over. Our margin of error on offense has been the three lowest margin of errors that I've seen. I think we had 5.8% of the plays we had on Saturday contained a self-inflicted, a drop, a fumble, interception, penalty on offense, a sack. 5% of the plays we had contained one of those self-inflicted wounds on offense. Our defense continues to turn the ball over, get turnovers from the opponent. And so when you look at those small victories and the progress that we've made playing clean, getting turnovers, doing things like that, what we got to do now is figure out how to finish in the fourth quarter. And, for the last 2 games, it's my job to figure that out, and I think we've gotten to the gist of it. I see a tremendous amount of growth in this team each and every game we play. When we emphasize things, I see them work to get it fixed. Monday, we shifted our attention to UCLA, and it's a short week for us. We've got to get a lot of stuff done, and we head out on Thursday morning pretty early in order to acclimate and get ourselves situated out there out west. We've adjusted a few things in our weekly schedule. We're going a little earlier today. We've got, the first fall break to where we didn't have class yesterday or today, so we can move things up, which gives us a little more time for recovery and rest on the back end. And again, we're excited about this opportunity. We're facing a team in UCLA that has been given life. They've coming off of a big road win a week ago against Michigan State. They're playing really hard for their interim coach, Coach Skipper, who, I've known him for a while. Has done a great job the last few weeks of rallying those guys, and you can tell they're playing very fearless. They're playing as if they have nothing to lose, and when you watch them on tape, they're playing together. So I'm really excited about us to have a chance to go out west, get this thing back on the right side of things, to get back here and be able to have a bye week to get healthy once again. Our game captains this week, Shalik Knotts, Cam Rice, and Bryce McPherson will be leading us as game captains. And with that, I'll open it up to whatever questions you guys have.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned just a minute ago about getting the gist of it in fourth quarter and closing. How has that kind of been addressed in practice and in meetings the past couple of days?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for me. Going into the season, depth has been an issue, and so what I have to do, and this is, again, I always look at it, what things can I do better to maybe fix some of the issues. And when you look at the way last week we didn't finish in the fourth quarter. The last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter, we had opportunities to, and I saw our tackles, the missed tackles really jumped out to me in the fourth quarter. I saw our lack of execution, our inability to make plays that are there to be made, and it was coming from most of our really good players that have made plays all game long. And so, one of the things that I've come up with, and again, it's just really deep diving, is I got to do a better job of getting some younger players, some guys in a little earlier in the first, second quarter to take some plays off of the veteran starters. I mean, if you look at the amount of reps that guys like Daniel Wingate has had to take for us, and a freshman like Zaire Mathis and the amount of plays he has to play, it's my job to try to figure out how, instead of him playing 70 plays, how do I get him to play 55 plays, bring a young Flowers 23 or Michael Harris, let them play a little bit more earlier in the game so that our best players are in the best possible position to make plays in the fourth quarter. And that's me. That's what I have to do. And what I've challenged each and every one of our people in our program is let's all take a deep dive into the things we can do. I challenged our starters, the really good players, about it's not just me having to adjust to make sure you get and you can get to the fourth quarter. It's about recovery during the week. It's about your sleep. It's about your nutrition. You know, knowing that we have a smaller size team than we've had in the years past, it's up to all of us to make some adjustments to ensure we're playing our best when we need to. And I think our players understand that. I see it a lot more clear now as a head coach, and we're working to get that fixed.
Hey, Coach. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Hey, so I know that this is a results-driven sport, obviously, but, you know, you talk about the level of optimism that you have with this team. In all your years of coaching, man, have you ever looked back on a stretch like this, losing 2 tough games back-to-back, and said, you know, maybe we needed this to become the best version of ourselves? You know,
I always try to compare and look back, and this team does have a little bit of a feel. I told our team the other day to kind of remind me of the 2020 team we had here. That was really the foundational piece. That COVID year was kind of the foundational piece, which kind of got us over the hump. We had some tough losses during that time, found a way to win a couple. And this team kind of reminds me of that 2020 team because it was a bunch of young players, first-year guys. I think that was Leah Tungavailoa's first year as our quarterback, and was an influx of talent that we brought in, and it's similar to that. But I think the big thing for us is we just got to endure. I mean, endurance is one of the hardest things to do because when everything around you tells you to stop, tells you to it's not going to work, it's usually right before you have the breakthrough. And so to play as clean as we've played with winning the turnover battle, not playing, you know, on offense, not just having a bunch of drops and a bunch of things that cause you to not win, that gives me the optimism that we're really close to the breakthrough that we need to have. I like to see us get it fixed this week, which is always, you know, the goal when we head on the road trip. This is a big road trip for us going out west, but I like the way that this team has approached it and the buy-in that I've gotten out of them, even through 2 tough losses.
And you mentioned that road trip. You know, UCLA loses a 4 straight to open up the season and 2 big wins for them. What have you seen from them that's kind of changed from their first 4 games up until now, and what is it going to take for you all to walk out of there with a victory?
Well, they're a talented team. If you're in the Big Ten, you got talent. I think the biggest issue is the mindset shift that there's something about the pressure being off of you when you're an interim head coach, which I've done that twice now. I call it playing with house money. I mean, you got 0 to lose. You can go out and call flea flickers. You can call double passes. You can onside kick. You're allowed. You can do whatever you need to because you got nothing to lose other than, hey, let's find a way to kind of get this group going. And Coach Skipper has found a way to do that. That staff has done a tremendous job in a tough circumstance, and having been there, I know exactly what they're going through. But I got to give credit to their staff and to those players of how they've been able to stay together and find a way to get 2 wins. And with that being said, we got to figure out how to go out west and get our stuff together and make the corrections we need to get us back on that side of winning